How has this experience impacted your life, like, financially and personally?
Financially, it impacted me where like I have my personal income and I have my business income. So now financially, I'm like, okay, now I have my business income. I
Mm.
can slowly start growing more and more and more and set aside some funds for the future to buy like a house or a
Yeah.
property. And then confidence wise, all my friends, everyone in the family, all the people I talk to, they're like, dude, what do you do?
Hey, what's up, guys? We're doing our interview with our boy Subhan over here. He's absolutely crushing it. I just want to let you, Subhan, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Subhan. I just graduated college a few months ago. I joined Faraj's mentorship while I was in college and had great results.
Could you explain? Because I remember getting on that call with you, right? I was speaking with you, and you were like, you've got burned from a couple of courses and mentorships before, and you were very hesitant. Could you just basically explain what happened?
Yeah, long story short, I've tried options trading. I've tried drop shipping, e-commerce through Shopify, done remote closing. I've done all those business models that you guys could think of. But I never tried Amazon FBA or FBM. I ran across your TikTok page or your Instagram page and I saw that, hey, this guy has a small following. However, at the time, I think you only had like 1K, 2K. And I was like, let me just DM him and see what's up. And for me, it was a point of like, I was 22 at the time. I'm like, I need to start something ASAP. I see so many people making money online. I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. So I was like, okay, this next model or business model or whatever I do, I'm just gonna lock in, put my head down, even though I had like school, other, priorities. And I was very nervous, as you know,
Yeah, I
jumped on a
remember
call.
you were very skeptical, right? And
Mhm.
I remember it was because you had that past trauma of the last mentorship you guys had, where the guy was he like you weren't able to even communicate with him. Just
He
tell me
wasn't he
that.
wasn't communicating. He was, on vacation trips all the time.
Let's not do any
And
name
he just
name drops, no name drops.
Yeah, no name drops, but like
Uh-huh.
he just wasn't really committed. And like if you're gonna be my coach or mentor, I'd expect you to like take me with you to the results that you are praising about as long as I'm putting my effort in. And I was putting the work in, but I just felt like the guidance wasn't there.
One thing I noticed, I feel like that's why you had a lot of success early on, and you're where you're at right now is because I mean every mentee calls at the start. You were
Mhm.
blowing up the ticket system. You were blowing up my tickets. We were getting how many questions? You had like 5 to 10 questions every single day. Any
Mhm.
problem that you faced, you would drop in a ticket. We would get it answered. You'd face a problem. We would look at the
Mhm.
problem and we'd find a solution. And that's a big reason why I think you've scaled so fast, right? Being able to
Right.
do school limited capital, right? You're not leveraging any credit, and you're, at where you're at right now, right? What are you last December, right? You did about 18K in just December, and what was
Yeah.
it? Your third month? I mean, that's ridiculous.
I was just asking a lot of questions, but
Mhm.
mainly like, finals. Then you got work, right? Q4 retail is insane. And I'm trying my best to like fit everything while doing this business.
Could you share your details about like your first sale or your first product?
I bought the mentorship back in September 3rd, and I remember it was just setting up the Amazon account, asking a lot of questions, trying to source. Like when you have a new Amazon account, you have to do a lot of ungating at first, right? Your first few weeks are just literally buying stuff from Target, ungating, returning it,
A hundred
right?
percent.
But what I actually did was I was like, dude, I'm so like pumped and like hyped up. I can't wait anymore. So I started going and driving around different businesses in my area and asking for stuff that if they have an overstock or oversupply of stuff. And I happened to ran across a product that they had, which was like 8 boxes of that product. And I was like, I'm not gonna even use the free product that comes with the course. I was like, let me start this. Let me just start with this and see what I can do. Next thing you know, I did like sold out of inventory.
I remember
And
it was like your fifth day. I mean, that just goes to show like I already knew you were going to be successful in this. I already knew you had that drive and everything. It was just a matter of time and giving you the resources, like teaching you how to get ungated, teaching you how to source what stores to go to. I just knew if I gave you that knowledge, right, it was just a matter of time, to be honest. And I'm excited, obviously, for the future because there's so much more with delegating, leveraging credit cards, doing some
mm,
more OA, even some
mhm,
wholesale for this new 2025. That's why I'm super excited for this new year, right? Because
yeah, I'm excited as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what I did. And I asked a lot of questions. And, I happened to meet you in Chicago.
oh yeah, that
Um,
was fire.
trying to
Fire.
trying to get sidetracked here, but when this dude came to Chicago, I was asking so many questions. Even when he was extremely tired from all the events that he's gone to,
Yes,
I
sir.
asked him nonstop questions. I grabbed my phone, took a bunch of notes,
I remember
reviewed it, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna bother him until, I drop him off.
that's what I tell all the students and everything. It's like, especially these other people that are selling like information and courses and everything, like if someone's investing, like they're trusting you, they're investing their time and money into you, that you should be able to have that access. You kind of owe them, like just as a man, you kind of owe them the time until they learn it, So that's why in our ticket system, I don't have a limit to how many questions you can ask because I generally feel like you learning and that's the highest you invested into me, so I have to give you value back. Another question is, what's the most important lesson you've learned since starting Amazon FBA? Just with online making money and everything.
The biggest lesson is it's not the business, it's the lifestyle. It's
Mm-hmm.
the mentality. It's the shift in like your cognitive up here
Mm-hmm.
of like, hey, I'm starting a business. What do I have to do? What do I have to sacrifice? I haven't played the
Have to
PlayStation
sacrifice.
5. I haven't touched the video games since I started the business. It's collecting
100%.
dust right here. You stop seeing friends a lot, right? I used to see my friends every other day. I only
Mm-hmm.
see them like once every few weeks. You have to make that decision that, hey, you are going to lose a lot of leisure time, but it's worth it for the long run. And it will pay off 1000%.
100%. I completely agree with that. It gets to a point, once you have the business model and everything, once you have everything up and running, right, and you want to
Hmm.
scale, then it just comes down to how much are you willing to sacrifice day in and day out, right?
Exactly.
Sacrifice time
Exactly.
with friends, sacrifice time with video
Mhm.
games, family, getting off
Mhm.
social media, like watching the new shows and everything. The more you sacrifice, the more, it's going to pay off in the long run. I 100% completely co-sign that. 100%. The next question I have is, what do you have to say to, because I know I mean, could you imagine if you just, I'm not going to do it. Like, where do you think like you would be right now if you just didn't take that jump? So what would you tell a viewer right now that's on the fence, right? It's this new year. They've been
Mhm.
seeing everybody make money online. What would you tell them, like the people that are hesitant? What would you say?
I would still be playing video games. I would still be like, watching TV shows. I would still be working like my retail job
Mhm.
without having a vision. What I'll tell you this is I bought my first business vehicle, which is
Mhm.
this BMW right here
Yes,
with
sir.
Amazon. So I'm putting that on my LLC starting
Mhm.
January 1st
Mhm.
and very excited to write off the miles and all that stuff. But
Yes, sir.
no, with my Amazon business, I was able to purchase a BMW.
In just a couple of months, right? That extra income. And for me, right, it was just having that tool, like that business
Hmm.
model, something to wake up every day and just get excited. Because I remember before I started Amazon, right? Like I was just playing sports, I was watching NFL, NBA, just talking to my friends, hanging out with my friends and just rotting away, right? But once I had that business model, even now, I wake up every day. It's not work, right? When you're building your business, when you have something to work on, you're not really working, right? You're building yourself, you're building your business. It's the most satisfying thing, you could ever do, to be honest. What are some future plans for quarter 1? I mean, we have a big year coming up. We've already had multiple talks in the mentee calls about leveraging credit, online arbitrage, the wholesale,
Hmm.
CA. We know what we've been talking. What are some, don't give out too much sauce of what we've been discussing, but just giving them an overview of what are some plans for Q1, Q2, 2025. Because 2025, we're going up.
What I will say is that we all definitely give out some really good knowledge to the point where we can be successful with Amazon. My personal goals are hitting that 15, 20K plus, right? I hit 18. I'm trying to hit 20K plus, 30K plus,
Mhm.
40K plus. That's my goal. Staying consistent,
For
staying on
you,
top of it.
for you, that's gonna be so easy because I mean, like once we get you on the credit cards, right? The 0% APR credit cards for
Correct.
12 months, that's gonna be
Hmm.
money. You have it. You haven't used any business funding, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you've done 18K while still in college with your finals and everything. So it's imagine you just have more time and everything.
And working full time.
30, 40, that's going to be guaranteed, to be
Yeah,
honest. I'm
100%.
thinking Q4, you got to hit like either a 75 or 100K month. Like
Hmm.
that's totally in reach. It's just belief.
It's just manifestation at this point. My main big focus is like once I pay off my debt, which is like the student loans
Hmm.
and the other expenses that I have, I'm gonna reinvest all the money that I've been paying towards that debt all into Amazon and just using it as a catalyst to just blitz the whole business and see if
With
I can hit
everything.
25K, 30K more.
We also talked about you also building your personal brand, just sharing your journey. We got to get started on that.
For sure. I know I've started like one video, but I kind of slowed down because I've been so focused on just Amazon and just building that. So now I have some sort of rapport, right? I have some sort of like evidence that I can do this, and I want to use that to kind of like leverage the audience and say, hey, like I've done this before. This is no joke. And you can do this too, as long as you're willing to put that work in.
How has this experience like impacted your life, like, financially and personally? I know you said you got the car and everything, but how has it
Mhm.
impacted you? And just like your approach through these next couple of years or months, how's your confidence levels?
My confidence level is that internet money, like online business, is an actual thing. You just have to really put the work in and you have to kind of like ask a lot of questions and just do a lot of research outside of your own as well. Financially, isn't it impacted me where like I have my personal income and I have my business income, right?
Yeah.
So now financially, I'm like, okay, now I have my business income. I
Hmm.
can slowly start growing more and more and more and set aside some funds for the future to buy like a house or a
Yeah.
property. And then confidence wise, all my friends, everyone in the family, all the people that I talk to, they're like, dude, what do you do? Like what like how are you doing it? People that I haven't talked to in high school are hitting me up.
And then all of a sudden they're coming.
They're like, what do you do? How do you do it? Put me on, give me
Mhm.
the sauce. For me, it's like I view it as like, okay, sir, like now you want to hit me up. Like now once I'm like doing good, you want to come to my life. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally. I mean, you're just gonna have to deal with that. You're gonna deal with that 3, 4, 5x, once these next couple of months, what you do, what we're planning on doing, right? These numbers that we're
Hmm.
planning on, we're gonna hit. There's no maybe. We're gonna hit these numbers. But yeah, that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. How would this is probably gonna be the last question is, there's a viewer that's watching this right now. What is one piece of advice that you could give them, with online making money or life advice with starting? They're just on the fence. What do you have to say to them? Just a message to them.
Go look at yourself in the mirror and think what you're doing right now and how your situation is. And think about if you continue doing this, is it going to get any better? Take like 30 seconds to 60 seconds just looking at yourself and thinking that thought, is my situation going to get any better?
Hmm.
That's number one. Number two, what I recommend is it has clearly hit you that whatever you're doing, you are being you're being very comfortable with what you're doing.
Hmm.
And you have to think to yourself, you have to be uncomfortable to chase success to allow yourself to grow in an exponential manner. And leading to that is taking action. You have to take action. You can't be like one of those people, oh, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? And then you next thing you know, you don't take action. 6 months down the line, somebody was in that same position, took action. They're making 70, 60,
I
80K
mean,
a month comfortably.
you got Jean, Nono, Siraj, all the mentees right now, you guys are living proof of that because I'm documenting your guys' journeys on my stories and everything. And now you guys joined in like the summertime, the fall time, and then now it's the new year. People that have just been viewing, they've been texting me about Amazon, but they've just been viewing my stuff. They're watching you guys start and scale your Amazon business. They're swiping up now, like, oh my God, how did he do this? And how did he do this? Those are the same people on the fence. The same people that hit me up in the summer. The only difference between you, Siraj, John, all the mentees that are absolutely crushing it right now is you guys decided to take action. You guys decided to get uncomfortable and take that leap. And I preach that every single day.
And then one last thing before we end this, you gotta like understand that do you want to work this whole 9 to 5 job to like for the rest of your life and you're working under someone. They're
Hmm.
telling you when to come to work. They're telling you when you can take a lunch. They're telling you when you can get days off. Or do you want to be your own businessman? Like, you want to be your
Yeah.
own businessman, be your own boss. Like, nobody can tell you what to do when you
Mhm.
have your business. You're not going to get unemployed. The worst thing that could happen is you go broke for a few months or stuff based on like inventory or you're catching up on, income. But next thing you know, it's for the long term, like
Mhm.
success.
Yeah.
So
And
think to
then
yourself,
tell the viewers that, I mean, you had a six-figure accounting job waiting and you
waiting,
declined it because you didn't want to settle. Do you think, yes, sir. Do you think you
recommend reading
in
this
that
book.
position? Do you think, because what was a comfortable choice, right? Either pick the six-figure accounting job or the uncomfortable choice is, taking that jump into and going all in on that business.
I mean, like the 6 figure accounting job, don't get me wrong, is like you have like a routine life and
Mm.
the way you get paid is very consistent like this,
Yeah.
right? But with sales, you're gonna have like graphs.
Yeah.
Like one day you're gonna do like 4K,
Bro, you
but
did
then
back-to-back 3K days. I was insane.
insane,
That
insane,
was that was
absolutely insane.
bro. When I seen that you because you were like I was and that was like what you were in your second month.
This is my second month, yeah.
that was outrageous. I was genuinely shocked. I knew you were cooking, 500, $700 days, $800 days, $1,000 days sometimes. Bro, when you popped out with the back-to-back 3K days, I was genuinely lit. I was so happy. You don't understand. But
Yeah.
I knew it was inevitable, but I didn't know it was gonna be that soon. That just goes to show, two nice profits, that's what we do.
And we have a community that will motivate every
100%.
single one of the mentees that join. We're just trying to grow. Like, I like the people that I talk to. Everyone's nice.
Yeah,
Um,
no, Suf, all you guys get on the calls,
mhm.
VCs, what I'm
Yeah,
saying, Menti calls. So yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. We're growing at a crazy rate. The sauce that is being dropped. I love the sauce channel where we just drop, you see a nice sale or you see a sale that, potentially the other mentees could get on. You, Adam, all those guys dropping sauce. I really love what we're building over here. I really love it. And I really appreciate you, Subhan. Probably gonna be the end of the interview. And yeah,
for sure.
guys, stay tuned. Guys, stay tuned for 2025. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a good year.